What we're seeing right now in the northern region is one of those developments that makes everyone pause and look closer, because the internal struggle between armed groups has taken a new turn. Over the weekend, reports from the Lake Chad axis indicated a very serious confrontation between two rival factions, Boko Haram and Iswap, and this confrontation was not a small one. It was a major clash over control, influence, and territory. The figures coming out of the region suggest that Iswap suffered very heavy losses, with around 200 of the members affected during the battle. And remember, this isn't government forces attacking them. This is group fighting group. Please, if you're watching right now, like this video so more people can see what's happening, and subscribe for updates because we break it down in a way you can understand. Now, one thing people need to understand about this region is that the Lake Chad area is more than just water and islands. It's a major hub for movement, for transport, and for economic activity. Whoever controls these zones gains access to routes, boats, small trading points, and the ability to collect money from the communities living in those areas. So when you see two armed groups fighting over that place, they're not just fighting for land, they're fighting for influence and power. Make sure you hit that like button if you're following the flow of this gist clearly, because we're only getting started. This clash also highlights another important point. These groups are not united. Many people outside the region think Boko Haram and Iswap are one big family, but in reality, the relationship has been broken for years. Iswap broke away from Boko Haram around 2016 because of leadership disagreements and ideological differences. Since then, the two sides have been competing quietly for resources and sometimes loudly through force. And this weekend's incident shows that the rivalry is still active and dangerous. As you're listening, please subscribe. It helps us bring you more detailed updates like this. Now, some headlines online suggest that there's a division between ethnic groups. Hausa rejecting Fulani and all of that. But the information from the ground shows something different. What happened here is not an ethnic conflict. It's a clash between two armed organizations. These groups recruit from different places, different communities, and different backgrounds. Their fight is based on territory and control, not on one tribe fighting another tribe. This is a very important distinction, and I want everyone watching to understand it clearly so we do not misinterpret what is happening. While you're here, please like this video and subscribe, because staying informed is very important. The most concerning part of this situation is the effect it could have on civilians living in those areas. Even though this particular clash happened between militants themselves, the danger is that whenever one group loses heavily, they may try to regain power by expanding into nearby communities or attacking soft targets. That creates fear, displacement, and uncertainty for ordinary families just trying to live their lives. So while the armed groups are fighting each other, the people who suffer the most are the same local communities caught between them. If you're watching this and you care about security in our country, please tap the like button so more people can learn what is going on. Now let's talk briefly about why this happened. Based on what we know, the Lake Chad region has been shrinking due to climate changes over the years. As the water reduces, more land becomes available, and that land becomes a hot point for competition. Armed groups see opportunity. They move in. And when more than one group wants the same strategic space, clashes happen. For years now, both groups have been trying to dominate key islands and fishing areas. So this weekend's incident is part of a larger pattern, a pattern of competition, not cooperation. If you're following the gist, please subscribe to this channel. It helps us grow and reach more people. Something else we must discuss is the security implication for the Nigerian government and regional forces. This kind of clash might create an opening. When one group is weakened, it sometimes becomes easier for the military to step in and reclaim territory because the dominant group is distracted or the losing group is scattered. But it can also make things more unpredictable. One side may want to show strength by carrying out new actions. Another side may want to reclaim influence. So it's a situation that needs careful monitoring. If you appreciate this kind of breakdown, please like this video so others can find it too. Another angle people are discussing is the humanitarian side. When clashes like this happen, many villagers around the area begin to flee or move out of fear. Even if the fight didn't happen directly inside the community, just hearing gunfire or seeing movement from these groups is enough to cause panic. This can weaken the local economy because fishermen leave, traders relocate, and families abandon their farms. And once they move to other towns, they need support, food, shelter, safety. So this incident isn't just a story about groups fighting. It's a story about how fragile the entire region is and how easily things can shift. If you are with me up till this point, please subscribe now for more clear explanations like this. Let's also talk about how this affects neighboring countries. Lake Chad touches Nigeria, Niger, Chad, and Cameroon. So, when something happens on one side, everyone feels it. These armed groups don't always respect borders. They move by water, by footpaths, by hidden routes. So after this clash, security officials in neighboring countries will be extra alert because members fleeing from one group might sneak across borders to regroup or escape. If you love insights like this, please like this video. It really supports the channel. Now, one important question for viewers is, does this clash weaken these groups? The honest answer is yes and no. Yes, because losing about 200 fighters is a serious blow for Iswap. But no, because sometimes after losing, groups become desperate and aggressive. So the next few weeks will be important to watch. The military might increase air surveillance, patrols might increase around Bono, and humanitarian agencies might begin preparing for new displacement. If you're following, please subscribe. We update stories like this in simple language you can understand. Another thing this situation teaches us is that peace in the region is still fragile. Even though both groups may weaken each other, it doesn't automatically bring long-term calm. Peace requires strong local governance, economic support for communities, security presence, and cooperation between the Lake Chad countries. Without these, clashes will continue to happen because the root causes, poverty, lack of opportunity, and access to resources, remain. If you believe peace is possible and important, please like this video so more people can join the conversation. So, to understand why this clash became so intense, you have to look at how Boko Haram and Iswap operate on a daily basis. These groups don't just sit in one place. They move around, they create small camps, they blend into difficult terrain, and they rely heavily on water routes in the Lake Chad region. That water gives them cover, escape paths, and access to people they can influence or pressure. So when Boko Haram captured several boats belonging to Iswap during this clash, that alone was a major blow. Boats in that area are like vehicles in the city. Once one group controls the boats, the other group becomes weak in movement and supply. If you're getting the picture clearly, please tap the like button and subscribe so more people can understand this too. Now, imagine the mindset inside Iswap right now. Losing that many members at once is huge. It shakes confidence. It affects morale. It forces their leaders to rethink strategy. They'll be asking themselves, do we pull back? Do we retaliate? Do we try to rebuild? Do we move to another territory? And every one of those decisions affects the civilians living around that axis. Many people living in those islands and small coastal villages might now see unusual movement in the coming days, either fighters withdrawing or new fighters moving in, and that alone can worry families. Please subscribe now if you haven't. It helps this channel continue giving updates like these in calm, simple English. The Boko Haram side will also be reacting. Even though they won this round, they know Iswap will not sit quietly, so Boko Haram may try to reinforce their new positions, secure the boats they captured, and make sure Iswap cannot return easily. That means more patrol, more presence, and sometimes more pressure on the communities caught in between. This entire situation is like two strong winds blowing towards each other, and the people in the middle feeling the pressure. Please like this video if you understand what I mean. Now, let's look at the government response. Even though the clash happened between the two groups, the Nigerian security forces will likely be watching closely because moments like these can either create an opening or increase risk. Sometimes after a group loses, they scatter in small numbers across villages and routes trying to escape. That's when the military tries to block them or capture them. Other times, the winning group begins to feel confident and expands aggressively. So the military has to balance monitoring, blocking escape routes, and protecting communities. While you're listening, please subscribe. It helps you stay informed. This is also a time when regional cooperation becomes important. The Lake Chad Basin countries, Nigeria, Niger, Chad, and Cameroon, often share intelligence because nobody wants a situation where fighters flee from one country and enter another quietly. So you might see joint patrols, tightened border checks, and more surveillance on water and land routes. These measures are not always visible to the public, but they play a very important role in maintaining safety. If you're getting value from this gist, please like this video so more people can hear it too. Another major thing this clash reveals is the economic pressure in that region. Many people living along the Lake Chad Basin rely on fishing, farming close to water, trading, and small transport jobs using canoes. When these groups fight, all those small businesses get affected. Fishermen reduce their activities, traders avoid certain areas. Youth who normally depend on daily work begin looking for where to move. It may sound like a distant problem, but this is how poverty expands and communities break down. That's why any instability there affects not only the region, but the entire Northeast economy. Please hit the subscribe button now if you haven't. Now let's talk about the psychology behind this rivalry. Boko Haram and Iswap split years ago because they couldn't agree on leadership style, tactics, and vision. Boko Haram's approach was more extreme and unpredictable, while Iswap tried to act more structured and controlled, even though they were still dangerous. Over time, this difference created tension. Both sides wanted the same resources, same recruits, same strategic islands. So clashes like these aren't accidents. They're part of a long-term struggle for dominance. If you're following this story clearly, please like this video. It means a lot. There's also the emotional aspect for the people living nearby. Many communities in that area have been living with fear for over a decade. Children grow up hearing these stories. Parents are always alert. And when a major clash happens like this weekend, their anxiety rises again because they don't know what the next week will bring. Will fighters pass through their village? Will the army come in large numbers? Will there be curfews? These are real concerns for families who just want peace. And that's why it's important to understand the bigger picture. Please subscribe now if you want updates that truly explain the situation in simple terms. As for the ethnic angle, some headlines push Hausa rejecting Fulani. That angle does not match the real situation on the ground. This wasn't a tribal conflict. It wasn't a community rejecting another community. It was strictly an armed group to armed group confrontation. And we need to be careful with how we interpret headlines so we don't create unnecessary fear or tension among innocent people. If you agree that accurate information is important, please like this video. Now, what should the Nigerian public be watching for next? First, possible displacement of families in the Lake Chad zone, as people may choose to move for safety. Second, possible movements or changes in activity by either group. Third, possible government operations trying to take advantage of the moment. All of these steps could shape the next phase of security in that area, and we'll be here to break it down for you every time. Please subscribe now so you don't miss anything.